All right, guys. We'll go ahead and getting started here. Make sure that we're streaming live in the group here. All right, guys. I'm just going to make sure that we're streaming live in the group here. Looks like we are good. Looks like we are live. All right, guys. Good to see you. Welcome back from the long weekend. I know I feel rested. Hopefully, you guys feel the same. Or at least a bit more ready to get back to regular life, right? Guys, go ahead and drop what you do and drop your spiritual superpowers as we get going here. Welcome to Six Figure Spirits. This is the group for hypnotists and holistic practitioners who are ready to get away from the inconsistent, 2K months, 5K months, 6K months, and are ready to skyrocket past that and skyrocket past the 10K per month and maybe achieve 20, 30, 40 plus K months, which is definitely possible when it comes to charging high ticket and also getting yourself out there online on social media. So guys, go ahead and let's get started here. So if you're brand new to the group, every single Wednesday, which would be now at 5 p.m. Eastern, which would be now, I do a live training. And what we're going to talk about here today, we have a different theme and a topic every single Wednesday. And this is also an opportunity for you guys to get live coaching as well. So I hope you've come prepared with your questions and you're ready to rock and roll on this topic of what we're going to talk about here today, which is what not to do when selling high ticket, okay? So if you're brand new to this group, the way I like to start these calls is by dropping what you do and what are your spiritual superpowers, as I like to call them. So guys, first off, go ahead and just drop in the comments just so I can make sure that we're rocking and rolling here. Can you guys see me and hear me okay? Just give me a thumbs up or give me a yes in the chat below and let me know if you can see me and hear me okay. Sometimes Facebook, the live dashboard doesn't really work too well, so let me make sure we're not frozen here. So guys, just drop a comment below and let me know if you can see me and hear me okay, and then we will get rocking and rolling. Okay. Can you guys see me and hear me all right? Just let me know in the comments below, just so I know I can see your comments too. And I'll see if I can see your comments in the group here. Can you guys drop a comment just to make sure that the comments box is working here? Can you guys see me and hear me okay? Just give me a thumbs up or a yes below, and we're going to dive right in. So it looks like you guys are commenting, but I can't see them. This is exactly what I was afraid of. I see that there are comments, but I can't see the comments themselves. That's very strange. Let me try. Oh, there they are. Okay, cool. There we go. For some reason, when the box is off to the right-hand side, I don't see it, but now I can see them. Okay, so we'll do it this way. Cool. Joseph, good to see you here. And we've got Scott, good to see you here. Looks like you guys can see me. And Michelle, welcome to the group. It starts and stops a little. Yeah, I don't, at this point, I've done everything I can, but hopefully it's not going to get in the way here. You guys can see in here. And Karen, good to see you again. Cool. Looks like we are going here now that I can see you guys. So guys, welcome to Six Figure Spirit. Again, this is the community for holistic practitioners and hypnotists. So, what is it you do? Are you a clairvoyant? Do you do Reiki? Are you a psychic, a medium, a hypnotist? We tend to draw a lot of hypnotists because I am also a board certified hypnotist. And it looks like I got the sun coming through here. But good, as long as I don't have those streaks on my face. So what are your spiritual superpowers, guys? What do you guys do? What's your background? What's on your resume? That's how I like to start these calls. And hopefully you've got your questions ready to go and you have a piece of note paper close by as we roll into this topic here. So rock and roll, guys. So what is your background? What do you guys do and who do you help? Like who's your niche and how do you help them? And then we will get the ball rolling here today. So Karen, you're an intuitive well-being coach. Very cool. This is an opportunity for you guys to show off. So get on your pedestal and show off your background. I know, we can't talk about this stuff with everybody, but you can talk about it here. Most of us will know what you're talking about. So energy healer, Michelle, welcome. Holistic practitioner and hypnotist. Very cool. Yep, just keep plugging them below as you guys are coming in here. Just keep plugging away and introducing yourselves. And today we're going to talk about, I'm always talking about like what kind of things you need to change when it comes to selling high ticket. How many of you here are looking to get away from, charging $1,000 here, a couple $1,000s there, and you're trying to figure out how can I start to sell like $5,000 plus premium hypnosis and holistic programs? Drop the word premium below if you're in this place of you're doing low ticket and you want to get into selling high ticket. Just drop the word premium below. Ruben, welcome. I believe you're new here. If not, it's been a minute. But identity crisis coach, chiropractic heart adjuster over here. Very cool. Yeah. So, let's just do a quick poll here. How many of you are kind of in the $1,000, $2,000, and you want to get into selling $5,000 and above? You're trying to figure out, how do I attract those premium high ticket clients, right? Who are ready to go, who are all in, right? Who are playing on your level, and they also invest on your level too. So Michelle says premium. Karen says premium. Joseph, yeah, fellow cat whisperer. I have Barbell over here somewhere. I don't know, she might be eating dinner now. But fellow cat whisperer, always. And also unique energies and music to offer from Akashic standpoint. Very cool. We have a lot of Akashic records practitioners here as well. I don't think there's anything we don't have here, guys. We've got human design coaches, meditation instructors, psychic mediums, EFT practitioners, of course, hypnotists. What else is there out there? There's, we talked about Akashic records. Is there anything I'm missing here? Like we've got clairvoyant reader, sound healers we've got in this group. We have pretty much helped all these different types of practitioners sell $5,000 and above. So it doesn't matter what your modalities are. Can you attract premium high ticket clients who are ready to invest on your level at 5,000 above? Absolutely. Absolutely. Or even just 3,000, right? Usually 3,000, 4, 5 and above, we're looking at more of a premium price tag. Okay. So Ruben says, I prefer premium and top shelf. So what do you guys like, just out of curiosity, what is like your highest price point that you're charging right now? Let's just do like a rapid fire poll here. What's your highest price point? Just so I can get an idea of what you guys are currently charging. Just like rapid fire down below, like what is your highest package or program or offer that you're selling right now? Just drop that below. And then we'll just jump right in here. So Ruben, you have a $10,000 offer right now. Make sure, like, what's the highest offer you've been able to sell? Let's change it to that. So what's the highest price point you've been able to sell up until now? Because that'll tell me where you guys are. So let me know. So Karen says 1,200, Scott says 4,000. So what's the highest price point you've been able to sell? And let's see what you guys got here. Because usually by the time healers find me, they're kind of doing that $700 here, $1,000 there, maybe a couple thousand here, maybe even, 2,000 here. And, we kind of end up nickel and diming ourselves. Like a lot of us are just nickel and diming ourselves, nickel and diming our clients. A couple extra $100 here, let's bump up. You're sort of like, bumping up your price point little bit by little bit. I literally tripled my program prices overnight, like literally overnight, and they sold. So a lot of you are just nickel and diming yourselves when actually you could grow much quicker, much faster. But then also, what does that look like, right? Like, what does it look like to sell a $5,000 offer? And we definitely want to have strategy for that, okay? So the strategy you're going to use to sell a high ticket offer, 5,000 and above, and the strategy you use to sell what you're doing now are going to be completely different. These are completely different phone calls or Zoom calls, and these are completely structured completely different. So that's what we're going to talk about here. Are what are the 5 most common selling mistakes when it comes to selling high ticket? Or you may be even making these mistakes now with your current price point, okay? But these will definitely get in the way if you're wanting to charge, anywhere from 5,000 and above, okay? So Ruben says 1,800 is your highest offer currently being sold, and Ruben says 752. Okay, so it sounds like you kind of are all around the same place, probably with similar challenges. So this will probably resonate with you. So what ends up happening if we're making these mistakes? Well, here's what I was going through in my holistic and hypnosis business when I was making these mistakes. Okay, so one thing that kept happening was prospects and potential clients would take control of the call. So how many of you are running into this where, like, maybe you're doing your thing, you're hosting the call, but all of a sudden your call gets hijacked by the client? How many of you, or a potential client, I should say, how many of you are running into this right now? Like, your calls end up getting hijacked and you end up losing control of the direction of the call. How many, drop the word control below if this is something you're running into. If this is something you're running into, what we're going to talk about here is going to resonate with you. So any of you feel like you're kind of losing control of the call, maybe halfway in, or maybe even right away, or maybe when you're at the end, right? So you feel like there's like this somewhere, somehow, the client takes the lead and then they end up not booking, right? This is what ends up happening. They end up taking the lead and then they just don't book. And we're left like, what the heck just happened, right? So Ruben says control. Anyone else experiencing this right now? Okay. And then what ends up happening is we end up feeling pressure to rush the call. So how many of you feel like maybe you feel like you're rushed during your strategy or sales calls because you're losing control of the call? Maybe it could sound something like, hey, can you just tell me the price? Can you just tell me what your price point is? Or like, hey, I just want to know this, or I just want to know that. But they end up like taking control of the call and then maybe rushing you to your price point. Drop the word price below if any of you are dealing with that right now. And you don't know how to like take control back once they're off and going in this other direction here. So Karen says control. This is resonating for you guys. Okay. So this often happens if you are making one of these mistakes. Okay. So your client takes control. You're feeling rushed because you feel bad for taking up their time. It can also show up like this. You feel bad for taking up their time. You feel, and this could come from a place of not feeling good enough or not feeling worthy. Maybe some of you don't feel like you're worthy of taking up this person's time, right? Even though they asked for it, it's very kind of weird. Okay. So you feel like during the call, people prematurely ask for the price or they rush you. Drop the word price below if that's something you're dealing with right now. You feel like they ask too soon or they're rushing you. This could happen quite a bit. Okay. Even in the high ticket world, this can happen. Okay. All right. And usually when this happens, we end up getting qualified. So, one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of hypnotists and healers make is that they fall into the dynamic that The prospect or the potential client is the chooser. It's all about them choosing you, not the other way around. It's like all on them to choose you. In fact, I'm going to add this to my notes here, and this will be the first one that we talk about. Chooser versus choosy. A lot of you here, how many of you here feel like you're waiting to be chosen by your client versus you having the abundance to choose as well? Drop the word abundance below, guys. This is probably number one here. This is the number one, is that the dynamic that a lot of hypnotists and healers create is that they're not the chooser. They feel like they don't have a choice because they have a lot of scarcity, right? Or maybe they have a lot of clients, but they don't have predictability. They don't know when the next client is going to come. And so you feel like it's a one-way street. It feels like a one-way street, and you're waiting to be chosen. This can look like just having a website, and you're waiting for people to book on a website. You're at the prospect's mercy. You're at their mercy of them booking on your calendar. And this is going to leave you with scarcity, with unpredictability when you operate a business like this. And so one thing I often get asked is why can't we run our businesses the way therapists do it? Therapists and counselors are booked out nowadays. Like a lot of therapists and counselors are not even taking new patients because they are booked out. And what ends up happening is a lot of hypnotists and healers, they model a therapist business, okay? And then they wonder why they're struggling. They wonder why they don't have the predictability or the packed calendar. Is anyone dealing with this right now? If so, drop the word therapy below. If you've tried to model a therapy business or a counseling business. This was a huge mistake that I made when I was starting my hypnosis business, was modeling an industry that had an advantage over what we have, and that's insurance, right? We don't have the advantage of, because a lot of us are not able to bill to insurances, right? So let's talk about this. This number one mistake here is that you're modeling your business like a therapist or a counselor, okay? We don't take insurance, so we will never be booked out. We will never, the demographic is too small to be booked out, okay? And if you're not taking insurance, you're not going to be booked out for months, right? And, like a therapist. So that model is not going to work, okay? The second thing is that we have to do a lot more education when it comes to advertising our services. We have to do a lot more education. Everybody knows what therapy is. Everybody knows what counseling does. But most people need to be educated about our modalities. So we will never be booked out using the same model that a therapist or a counselor uses. Okay? So that is point number one here. All right? And how this can also be showing up in your business is you feel like, again, it's a one-way street. Like you don't have a choice, but they do. Are any of you feeling like this right now? Like they have a choice, but you don't. Like it's like this is the last client, perhaps 4 days, right? This is the last client, perhaps for the rest, for the next month, right? And so there's a scarcity issue there. Okay. Also, by the way, guys, if you're new to the group and you haven't gotten your hands on the 4 steps to a 6-figure holistic or hypnosis business mini course, Zadia, go ahead and drop your link if you would below. If so, in order for my moderator, so she doesn't get blocked on social media, Zadia is going to go ahead and drop her link below here. And then, guys, if you haven't gotten the course on your way in, go ahead and you'll tap her link. So I'll wait for it to pop up here before we go any further, so I can get you guys connected. Is there any of you guys here who still need the mini course? Yeah, so Zadia just plugged her link in underneath. So if any of you guys didn't get the 4 steps to a 6-figure hypnosis or holistic business mini course, go ahead, tap Zadia's link. You'll see her n.me link below. And then send her the word course, and she'll get you linked up with your logins. Okay, so if you're new to the group, you didn't get that she will be your she'll be your link to get the mini course. So just tap her link and get that over to her. That way, she'll be able to reach out to you that way versus getting blocked. Okay, guys. So if you do want that, just tap her link and send her the word course. Okay. Another way this shows up in our businesses, if any of you are experiencing how many of you feel like confused after you get off a sales or strategy call? Like you don't know whether they're going to follow up with you. You don't know if you're going to hear back from them. Maybe they told you to call them, but you don't feel like they're going to answer. Like this is one thing that kept happening to me. So how many of you, like, you feel like you get off these calls and you're left in the dark? You feel like you're left in the dark. Drop the word gray. Drop the word gray below. If you feel like you have no certainty about these clients that you're talking to right now, drop that word below. Okay. Just trying to get these notifications out of my way here. Okay. This can sound like I'll get back to you, right? This can sound like I need to take a look at my finances. So maybe in that. Can I go? I'm going to go talk to my spouse. I'm going to go talk to my partner. I'm going to go talk to my business partner, right? This can be like, can I take a time to think about it and process it, right? So what ends up happening is when we get off the calls with these kind of objections, we're kind of left in the dark and we don't know whether we're going to hear back or not, right? We're left in the dark, right? Okay. So Karen says gray. Anyone else here feel like the same way? Nope, just Karen, huh? Just me and Karen dealt with that? Okay. So so dealing with any objections that probably to you feel like smoke screens. So you're dealing with smoke screens basically, meaning like you don't really believe them. When they say they're going to get back to you, they're going to they're going to look at their finances, they're going to talk to their spouse. Like deep down, you're like, that's BS. They're not going to do it, right? So there's something else going on there, okay? If you're making one of these mistakes, this is how it's going to show up. If you have inconsistent leads and you have inconsistent clients and you have inconsistent revenue, so how many of you here are wanting more predictability in your business? How many of you are wanting more consistency? Drop the word consistent below. If you're wanting more consistency, more consistent client retention, and more consistent income, that's how this will show up as well. Do a quick refresh here. Okay. So yeah, drop the word consistent if you're looking for more consistency within your business. Drop that below. Ruben says, I demand it. You demand what, Ruben? I'm not sure what you mean. And guys, also, this is an opportunity for you to get live coaching as well. So go ahead and if you have questions, drop them below starting now. This is an opportunity to get your questions answered as well. Okay. So Ruben, you demand consistency. So are you looking to create consistency? Is that what you're looking to do? Okay. And then, yep, consistent with a capital C, right? How good, a lot of hypnotists and healers here they found me because they're looking to get away from a job. Like they're trying to be full-time in their business. Is that anyone here right now looking to be, you've got a business going, maybe you're making okay money, I don't know, $2,000 a month, $1,000 a month, maybe somewhere between, 1 to 10,000 per month. And you're looking to be full-time in your business. How many of you are looking to be full-time Drop FT below if you're trying to figure out how to go full time into your practice. Like if that's something you could do right now and wave a magic wand, that's something you'd want to do right now. Okay. And then finally, if you're making these mistakes here, I'm going to talk about in a minute. Oftentimes we can feel like our time or our energy is being taken advantage of. So how many of you here feel like your time or your energy is being taken advantage of on your sales or strategy calls? This was something that I was feeling before I made all these changes. Anyone here right now, just drop the word yes below. If you're feeling like, your time is being taken advantage of, your heart is being taken advantage of, your energy is being taken advantage of, your how you're caring, how much you care is being taken advantage of. Wherever people can take advantage of it, they will. Okay? Anyone here feeling that way right now? You could even start to resent, like you even start to feel resentful towards your clients when this happens. It's not the best place to run a business from. Okay. All right, so let's talk about these things. Like, what do we need to change here what are these 5 big mistakes here? So I already mentioned one of them, so I've got 5 more here. I added this one earlier, which is that you set up the dynamic of you're the chosen versus the chooser. How many of you would want the abundance so that you're not stuck on this one-way street? It's all about them choosing you versus the other way around. This is how most healers run their practice. Is that, again, the person books on their calendar and we hope and pray that they hire you. That's pretty much how it operates. And it's not the best place to operate from because you're literally at the mercy of that client, right? Okay? Again, we can't operate our businesses like a therapist model. Therapists themselves have not figured it out. A lot of therapists themselves are not making 10K plus months. I'll tell you that right now. And I know this because they find me and they ask for help from me. A lot of times they're grinding away. They're not making a lot of money because the insurance company takes a lot of it. Okay? So why are we following a model that already is not working? That's already not working. Okay? So let's talk about it. You guys ready for me to go into these 5 things? Ready? If you're ready, drop the number 5 below, and then we'll get going here. I'm going to get a drink of water as you guys are doing that. My voice is starting to go. Karen, good to see you're still with us. Just drop the number. She just dropped 5. Give me 2 more, guys. Give me 2 more, and then I will jump into these things here. I know it's right after the holiday, so a lot of people are probably still on a break. I totally get that. I had a nice 4 days off myself, but let's get 2 more here. If you guys are ready to go, drop the number 5 below, and we'll jump right in. Let's give me a couple more here, guys. Let me know you're still here with me on this Wednesday. I know a lot of people probably need a vacation from the vacation. Let's do a couple more here, guys. Gonna make you guys work here today. You guys here still with me? If so, drop the number 5 and we'll jump into these 5 things. These are going to be really important for you guys to know. These are probably the biggest mistakes I see when I look at strategy and sales calls from even the current clients that I'm working with. So a lot of these things are tips and tricks and strategies that I only give to paying clients. So if you guys want to know what they are, just drop 5 below and we'll get into it. You guys still with me? Let me know below by dropping 5 and then we'll get into it. Make sure we haven't frozen here. Are we still rolling here, guys? Can you guys still see me and hear me okay? We're not frozen, are we? You guys still with me? Give me a holler down below. Give me a 5 just so I know you guys are still with me here. Yes. Okay, cool. Man, you guys are tired today. You guys are like, you guys like want, man, we need a longer vacation here. There we go. You guys are scraping away after vacation, huh? All right, let's jump in, guys. So, first thing we got here is, we already talked about this, is that you need to set up the dynamic of you're also the chooser. Okay, that you're not just going to take them because they're there, just because they're living and breathing and they have a bank account, they have a wallet, they have a credit card, right? You're not just going to work with anybody who's going to pay you, right? How many of you, some of you, that's your niche right now, is anybody who's going to pay you, anyone who's willing to pay you. That is not a good niche. That's not a good niche because, again, that leaves you waiting for anyone who's going to pay you, right? That's like a one-sided street here. Okay? So you want to create the dynamic of you're also a chooser as well. And they have to jump through hoops. They have to qualify to work with you as well. Okay? And like I said, guys, this is an opportunity for you to get coaching, so drop questions below, and then I'll get around to them. Okay? The next thing here, number 2, be sure you're taking notes, guys, is a lot of healers and hypnotists, they end up pitching their offer before the client sees the value. So you guys end up pitching way too soon, way before the prospective client they are connected to or see the value in what you have. Okay? And when they don't see the value in what you have, you're going to be stuck selling your time. You're going to be stuck selling number of sessions. You're going to be stuck, you're going to have the entire responsibility on you to help them get to their goal. This is what ends up happening, is that you end up putting all of the responsibility on you for the client to reach their goals when you set it up like this. And so there's a lot of pressure on you to perform. And then the client just shows up and sits down with a fix me attitude, like fix me attitude. So how many of you are getting that right now? Like you're getting clients coming in and they're just like, you fix me, right? Even $2,000 clients can be pretty low quality clients from what I have found, okay? All right, so that's number 2 here, is that do not pitch your offer or your price point until you know they see the value in what you do, until they're connected emotionally to the value, okay? Until they can logically and emotionally connect to the value, I should say, okay? All right. The third mistake here that a lot of hypnotists and healers make is that their pitch is just them listing the benefits of hypnosis and their modalities. So if you're doing this, stop doing this. People don't care. They end up getting a glazed look over their eyes. You know, you're speaking about a lot of neurotransmitter in the brain and this and, you know, unconscious and this and all this stuff. People don't care about this stuff, okay? Most people don't care. You know, more sophisticated buyers might care. People like us will care. But most people out there walking around who have the problems you can help with don't really care. And that's not what's going to sell them. People don't care about the benefits of hypnosis. It's not sexy. People don't care. People don't care about the benefits of energy work or Reiki or whatever. Okay? Again, that's more of a sophisticated buyer. Those are people like us. But we are not the masses. We are not the majority. Okay? So do no more listing the benefits. Here's what's great about hypnosis. Here's what's great about Reiki or whatever it is that you do. Okay? All right. Number 4 here is a lot of you guys, your calls themselves are just not long enough. A lot of you guys your calls are not long enough. So let's do a quick rapid fire poll here. How long are currently your sales calls now? Just drop that below. And how long do you guys typically spend with a new prospect on a sales call? Let's just do a quick poll here. Just drop that number below. How long you guys typically have your calls for. And I'll let you know if they're long enough. Let's see what kind of time frames you guys are doing here. I think there's a bit of a delay on my end. But yeah, how long are your calls currently, guys? So Karen says 25 minutes. What about some of you other guys? How long are your strategy or sales or discovery calls? Are you guys doing discovery calls or strategy calls? I know not everybody does them. I can already tell you 25 minutes. 25 minutes, depending on your price point, is probably, it depends on your price point. Ruben, 35 minutes, and then you said your price point is what? Your price point is, what did you say, 1,800, 35 minutes? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, probably, not long enough. I don't think these calls are not long enough. When you get into the 5K or above, okay, even 3, 4, 5K and above, your calls are going to need to be around about 45 minutes minimum, because the higher your price point, the longer the calls. The higher the price point, again, the longer the calls. So Karen, I can already tell you your calls are probably not long enough. If you're selling single sessions, that's probably more than enough time. But if you're trying to sell like a higher ticket offer, that's not going to be long enough. Ruben, depending on your price point, if you said 1,800, yeah, if you want to go up, your calls are going to need to be longer. So yeah, a lot of you are just not spending enough time. And the mistake that I see are a lot of you are not spending enough time in the discovery phase of your calls. You're not spending enough time. Yeah, Scott, way too short. Yeah, definitely. I would say bare minimum for like a $3,000 offer or more. You're even $2,000 offer, I think. You're looking at about 35, 40 minutes. 45 is probably going to be the sweet spot, because a lot of you, it's like 20, 30 minutes is not necessarily long enough for them to get connected to the value of what you have, and also knock out and handle any objections that may come up, right? We got to cover the objections as well as your offer, the pitch, all that good stuff. So sweet spot, if you're looking at selling, if you're having trouble closing, your calls are probably not long enough. I can already tell you right now, that's probably the issue. Okay? Which means, you're going to have to spend longer, you're going to have to budget out more time for your sales calls. You're going to have to budget out more time for your sales calls. Okay? All right, let's get into number 4 here. So number 4 here, and we've talked about this a little bit already, is that you let the prospect take control or take the lead of the call, okay? And again, what this can look like is as you're doing the call, they interrupt you with questions, and then you start answering their questions. So immediately, you've lost control, you've put them in the authority position, okay? Immediately, if that happens, you've already lost the sale by default. You'll lose the sale by default if you do that, okay? So I see a lot of hypnotists and healers, they let the client will interrupt because they haven't set up the phone call right, or they haven't set up the Zoom call session, they haven't set the agenda, and what ends up happening is people interrupt, they take the lead, and then they rush you to the price point, and then you basically lost the sale anyway, okay? So staying in the authority position, staying in a leadership position is going to be super important, guys. And also, really quick note, guys, for those of you who going back to what we were talking about before about how long each piece of the call should be, like your discovery phase versus like your pitch versus like your building rapport, all that kind of stuff. I have a sheet from my high ticket sales call booklet. So I gave out I went to a conference, Hypnotists Live, a few weeks ago, and for the clients who registered for my workshop, they got the entire strategy call. They got all the scripts and everything. There's actually a page from there that outlines the entire structure of the sales call, and I actually have it laid out in a timeline. So you can see which piece compared to other piece, which should be the longest, and comparatively what it should look like. If any of you want that, if any of you missed that, Zadia, if you would drop your link one more time, and then she will give you that page. So this page, it's free. I gave it away at the conference, so I'm giving it away to you guys. If you want that page, which has the timeline as far as how long you should keep, how long your call should be, and then each piece of the call is mapped out and color coded. So if you want to see how long this, like your discovery call, the discovery phase should be next to a different, like your price drop or anything like that, this is the entire overview of the call itself is laid out in this document. So if you still want that, it's free. Tap Zadia's link, she just dropped it below, and drop the word overview, and she'll get that over to you through Messenger. So send her that message, overview, and she'll get that over to you if you guys still want that too. Okay. Before I'm going to take that back to the vault here shortly. I'm probably not going to announce it anymore after this because I've been offering it for the last couple of weeks. If you missed that, you want it now before it goes back to the vault. Tap her links under the word overview, and she'll get it over to you. Okay. So going back to what I was talking about here is a lot of you guys let the prospect take the lead. They take the role of the doctor in the room, and why would they pay you, right? Like, why would a prospect pay you if now they're in a leadership position, they're the doctors in the room, okay? Like, you are the prescriber. You should be in control of the call the entire time, okay? If you lose control of the call, you've lost a sale. So write that one down. Write that one down. If you lose control of the call, you've lost a sale. Okay. And guys, as we get on to this last mistake here, drop any questions you have below. Yeah, and this kind of talks about like what I was talking about before. Number 5 here, I should say number 6, because I've already given out 4 because I added that 1 on the way in. But number 6 here, guys, is you go in with like a what's your budget mindset. I don't know how many hypnotists and healers I talk to who go in with like, I wonder what they will be able to afford. I wonder what they will be able to afford versus this is my price. This is what it is, and I expect them to meet me where I am or not. Okay? So a lot of you are going in with the mindset of, should I pitch this or should I pitch that? Should I charge them or should I charge that? And you're making this decision right before the call, or you're making this decision while you're on the call, okay? And if you're not set in stone as far as your price point, they're not going to believe you. They're not going to be committed to that, okay? Because in your mind, you have 2 options. That means you're going to be presenting 2 options, okay? So before you get on your next sales call, make the decision now what your price point's going to be and stand with it. Do not break from it. Do not go in with, I wonder what I should charge. I wonder what their financial situation is. I wonder what they can afford. This affordability mindset is a victim language. This is victim language, okay? I don't have any money. I can't afford anything I don't want. But you better believe I can afford everything I do want. I can afford everything I do want. And if I can't right now, I'll figure it out. You see that? Isn't that who you want to attract, right? Someone who, if they don't have the finances now, how can they figure out how to get there, right? So affordability is all based on what people want, okay? And if they don't see the value in what you have, they're not going to want it. Therefore, they're not going to be able to afford it, okay? So what I like to do is change out the word afford with willingness, with the word willingness. So how much Are they willing to invest, right? What does that look like if you're able to help them get to XYZ goal? Okay? How much are they willing to invest if you're able to help them lose 20 pounds permanently, right? How much would they invest? Are they willing to invest if you're able to help them quit smoking, right? How much would that person be willing to invest if you could help them, find healthier connections and relationships, right? How much, if you're confident about that, how much do you think people would be willing to invest? How much would you guys be willing to invest? Let's ask a fun question here, guys. Based on what you know you can help people with, how much would you pay yourself to help you with the problems you used to have? Let's ask ourselves from the past, right? How much would you pay yourself to overcome the problems that you used to have? Because oftentimes we are our clients from the past, right? How much would you pay yourself for help? Let's do a quick poll here. Knowing what you know now, knowing your gifts, knowing that what's possible, what would you pay someone to help you with this? What would you pay yourself? If you were that person from a year ago, or 5 years ago, or 2 years ago. Yeah, right? A lot of this stuff is even priceless, right? But it's our job to help our prospects see the value in how priceless this is, okay? And it's not by listing all the benefits of hypnosis or Reiki or clairvoyance or whatever it is you do. People don't care about that. They want to know what's in it for them. Okay? All right? So very, very interesting thing to think about. This is an important thing to know before your next sales call is like, what would you pay yourself? The you from a year ago, the you from 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, or 5 years ago, what would you pay yourself? Knowing what you know now, knowing what's possible. That's the attitude you want to go in your calls with. Okay? So we had 6 here total. At the end of this, I always end up with more than I originally say because things come up as I talk. But let's do a quick recap here of these 6 mistakes that a lot of hypnotists and healers make. What not to do on your next call. Jeanette, prices should not be on the website. Absolutely not. Unless you want to sell your time, unless you want to be stuck selling your time, take it off the website. Just get rid of it. There's no point because you're already creating friction. You want to get people on a call with the least amount of friction. The minute you add something that they could disagree with, the moment you put something in front of them that will push them away, you're going to lose that, right? We got to get them on a call and talk to them. So yeah, absolutely take them off. I would get rid of them all. And have a call with them, have that call. They will not be able to see the value right away, right? Not for themselves. If you have testimonials, that's great. They'll see the value that other clients got, but they need to see what's in it for them before we pitch any price points, okay? So let's do a quick recap here, guys. And guys, once again, if you want that strategy call overview sheet, which outlines the entire timeline of a high-ticket sales call, Zadia, if you drop your link one more time, send Zadia the word overview. So I'll actually drop it below. So tap her link, send this word, overview, in her chat. And she'll know to get you that sales page. I'm going to bring it back to the vault next week, so I'm probably going to stop announcing it. So if you haven't gotten it yet, you still want to just send her that message, and we'll get it over to you. Okay? So let's recap here. So number 1 is put yourself in the position of I have abundance. Even if you don't, you can fake it, right? You can be an actor, right? Like you can take care of yourself. You don't need them for survival, right? So put yourself in the position of I don't need this person to survive. I can take care of myself. I certainly don't want to work with just anybody, right? Pretty sure that you guys don't want to just work with just anybody, right? Anyone who will pay you, right? Because what kind of niche is that? That's going to be a crappy niche, right? So put yourself in that position of look, I'm taken care of, And I'm not here to accept just anybody. Like, I'm not here to serve anybody. I'm here to serve this exact person, this right person. The person who has the finances, the person who sees the value, the person who's motivated to get started. Okay? I am abundance. Exactly. Exactly. Okay? Number 2 here is never pitch your offer before they see the value of what you do, before they've connected emotionally and they see the logical value inside of what you offer. Never pitch, okay? And there's a way to know this. Do you guys want to know how I gauge this? Do you guys want to know? Drop yes below if you guys want to know how I gauge whether it's time to pitch or not. You guys want to know this? What my strategy is for this? Get a hit of coffee here real quick, and you guys drinking coffee out there? Cheers! Trying to get back on the horse from this holiday weekend. All right, so you guys want this. So here's what you want to do. After you've done your discovery phase, after you've asked all your questions, you're going to go inside and ask yourself, if I was to pitch right now, is there any reason why they would say no? Or are they ready to buy? You're going to have this answer. It's going to be there, okay? You got to connect with your intuition. You got to ask yourself, connect with your internal dialogue, okay? And ask yourself, before I move on here, you're allowed to pause, okay? For a lot of you are people pleasers, you're allowed to pause. Ask yourself, if I was to drop my price right now, is there any reason why they might say no? Is there any reason why they might say no? And if so, go back and get that out of the way before you do anything else, before you move forward and drop your price point, your pitch, anything like that, okay? And if you need to know the order and what to do things, the order to when to pitch, when to do your price drop, when to do your discovery, all that, it's inside of the overview document. It's inside that document, guys. So just hit up Zadia for that. But that's what I do, is I just ask my gut, if I drop my price, is there any reason why they might not say yes? And then go with your gut and circle back until you have that answer. Do not move forward until in your gut, it's a yes. Okay? All right. So number 2 is do not pitch too soon until they see the value. Number 3, make sure your calls are not long enough. A lot of you need to be at about 45 minutes. About 45 minutes is going to be the sweet spot for a $5,000 offer or higher. Okay? If they are referrals, if they are finding you on your website, again, you're looking at about 40, 45 minutes. Okay? A lot of you, just by spending more time doing your discovery, are going to make more sales right away. A lot of you are just not spending enough time there. That's often what I see. So spending more time qualifying them, asking them more commitment questions is going to help you get that yes when you're asking yourself, are they ready to buy? Okay. Number 3 is stop listing the benefits of hypnosis. People don't care. Stop listing the benefits. People's eyes get glazed over. They're not interested in that. They're not interested in your modality. They're interested in, can you help them? Can you help them with the challenges they specifically have? Okay? And what does that look like, right? Can you help them? And then what does that look like? Okay. Number 5 here. Never, ever let the prospect lead or hijack your call. Okay? So stay in the leadership position. If you let them hijack the call, if they take the lead on it, they rush you, you allow them to rush you, you've lost the sale anyway, okay? So it's better to stay in the position of the leader, of the doctor in the room, versus going along with it, or else you lost the sale by default, okay? And then finally, number 6 here is going in with a what's your budget mindset versus this is my price point mindset, okay? Stop getting into finances with your clients. Stop trying to figure out what they have available. Stop trying to figure out what's affordable. Like, people can afford what they want. People go buy new cars all the time. People go on those vacations, extravagant vacations all the time. Where did they come up with that $5,000? Where did they come up with that $15,000 for that car? Where did they come up with the $2,000 for this, the $6,000 for that? People have the money for what they want, okay? And we want them to want what we have. And that's our job. That's our job. Okay? All right, guys. So that puts us at about, I think we're at the, where are we at? Like the 40-minute mark here. I'm not even sure because this all looks different now. But yeah, we're at about an hour, guys. So that's what I have here for you today. If you're watching the replay, feel free to drop your questions below. But like I said, if you're new to the group, every single Wednesday we have these live training calls. Next week, come prepared with your questions to ask. I'll be announcing a topic next Wednesday as well. Okay? So guys, I will see you next Wednesday. I'll see you inside of the Facebook group. And if you got some value out of this, drop the word value below. This lets me know that I'm talking to the right people, that this is making sense to you guys. This lets me know that I'm going in the right direction. And guys, go get some rest. I know we're all coming back from the holiday here, so good to see you back. And guys, I will see you inside of the Facebook group. Bye-bye.